Okay, now I'm recording.
Okay, so yeah, Salesforce DX. I also went out Monday and because my certifications from 2010 long since expired, I'm beginning to rebuild my certifications, which meant I had to go back to the beginner admin one. I winged and did pass. Need to brush up on some Service Cloud stuff apparently. So oops, I'm on the wrong slide. Hang on. Let me go back. Start again. So they started off with the keynote with introducing Einstein GPT. You guys probably all know what Chat GPT is. So they jumped on this. It's not actually going to be available until winter 24. But what they showed was pretty innovative and kind of mind-blowing. People in the audience were like, wow, this is innovation. People have been saying, Salesforce isn't innovating anymore. It's pretty cool stuff. Watch the keynote on Salesforce Plus. I couldn't begin to do it justice, but things like, hey, the sales rep needs to send an email to a customer. It writes the email for them and they just kind of peruse it and polish it up. Hey, I need some Apex code or some SOCL. It writes it for you. I need a test class based on the Apex I wrote. Writes it for you. And then you just gotta, fix some things. So it might take you 80% of the way there, which I think is the way to view this AI stuff. It's not a replacement. It just does the more mundane stuff and gets you to the point where the real creativity and skill comes in. I don't know if anybody else heard about that. Joanne, did you see that keynote?
Yeah, I was there at the keynote. It's also cool. It'll write flows for you too. And with the Apex class, if you just put a comment at the beginning of the class and tell it what you're trying to do, then the code just magically appears on the screen. Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
But mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you some goosebumps when you see it.
Yeah.
The other big thing is Data Cloud, formerly known as Genie. What this is, it's just basically the ability to surface massive amounts of data in Salesforce like it's resident, but it's not actually resident in Salesforce. Kind of taking the old idea of external objects and I think making it actually work. And you can do transformations. So, hey, if that other database calls pick list one thing, you can transform it into the Salesforce nomenclature and, those kinds of things. Kind of like what ETL tools have done, except you're not actually transferring data. This is, I think it's going to really support Tableau in many ways. So because Tableau can then pick this data up much easier once it appears to be in Salesforce. So I think Tableau is getting further integrated in Salesforce, and this is going to be a key point, bit of that integration. They're also introducing usage-based pricing with this. So instead of user licenses, you pay by how much data you put in there. And I think maybe also the connections. And I heard some comments during True to the Core that more and more Salesforce is going to be priced based on usage versus user licensing. Interesting stuff. Any questions about Data Cloud? We'll move on.
Hey, question on Einstein GPT. Did you hear if that's an additional fee or is that going to be out of the box?
I don't think they've figured that one out yet.
No.
They're going to give you some teasers, and if you really want to use the powerful stuff, you're going to have to buy more.
Yeah.
Winter 24 is a long time in Salesforce years. Big news, they're introducing free API only users. So I think that might actually be available now. So like in the enterprise edition, you'll get 5 enterprise and up, you get 5 API only users that you can use for integrations. And this came about because somebody at Dreamforce said, hey, you're telling us the best practices to use an API user, but and then I got to go buy $150 a month user plus whatever add-on licenses just to do your best practice. And the Salesforce product manager said, yeah, that's a problem. So you might be able to reallocate a user license.
When is that kicking in, Mark? Do you know?
They said it was like in 9 days after DX. So
Wow.
I haven't checked, but that's like about to happen.
It's in my org already. We're on unlimited. I checked yesterday because I read it in a Salesforce blog,
There you
and
go.
I heard it's on like a rolling. They're rolling it out, slowly.
Yeah, so
It's hit and miss, and which orgs get it right now.
yeah, there you go. Other stuff on flow, dynamic fields, that may be out of order here, but dynamic fields are coming. And what that means is, like today, if I have like 5 input fields and I want to see the result of that, I got to hit next and go to another screen. Dynamic field means you're gonna put in those 5 fields and you're gonna see the result right on the same screen. If you change one of the inputs, it changes the result dynamically. So the form capability, this and a bunch of other stuff they were announcing, looks like it's aiming at replacing some of the form builders. This is, classic Salesforce. They watch what's successful in the App Exchange and then eat their Ohana. So I think they're gunning for some of the form builders. How that will be turned out to external users without expensive licensing, like if I'm using form assembly, I can have a survey and I don't have to pay anything for the survey. I think that's still an open question. Yeah, this is totally screwed up. Another one is HTTP callouts. So from Flow, I can put in an HTTP callout like I want to go get information about a VIN number I just entered. And it'll go out to some public API. And if you put in the right credentials, when you build the flow, it'll go get data. And then later they're going to have post and patch and other API type calls. This is going to be really powerful in our flows where we don't have to write Apex to go get some piece of data from somewhere else. Does anybody have any questions about what that means? If you work with APIs, this is really exciting. Because for example, we were going to do some custom development work so that we could patch and update an email address in an external system. And you got to write a whole bunch of Apex and test classes and do all this stuff. And this is going to eliminate a ton of work. Yeah, I don't know how this got screwed up. Another thing I saw several times, and you hear people talking about it much, but document generation from a flow, like you could generate a PDF. This already exists in some of the industry clouds, like manufacturing cloud. They have their own version of Flow, and it actually looks different than Flow, but they tell me that it's still Flow. And the product manager is saying, yeah, it's all going to converge together into the same tool. Like, how do the industry clouds build their own tool? I don't know. It seems like there was some failing in product management. They should have just built it once. But again, eating the Ohana, coming after Draw Loop and SDocs and stuff. I imagine those will still have a place for complex documents where, oh, there's all these rules. You got to assemble multiple documents and go to e-signature. But if you just want a simple PDF, like, hey, here's the contract.
Again, do you have any idea when, Mark?
Sometime in the next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There were slides they put out with sometimes they would say a spring release, sometimes they just said coming or beta or pilot.
By the way, I've got those integration licenses in our org as well. I just saw them. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but if you're thinking about purchasing a document generation and spending a bunch of time configuring it, that might be worth asking the Salesforce AE for. Some other stuff. So CRM Analytics and Tableau are 2 different analytics tools. And I never really paid much attention until this time because we're implementing Tableau now. CRM Analytics was, Einstein Analytics, and I guess going back far enough, it was called Wave. And it's ultimately going to be replaced with Tableau, it sounds like. But there are some things that it does that Tableau doesn't do, like something called Einstein Discovery, where it will look at your data and give you some recommendations on it, some summaries of it, give you some next best actions on it. They want to pull that kind of stuff over into Tableau. And I see the examples that they showed were pretty cool. What they were calling the last mile, and then rather than, hey, here's a dashboard, or here's some data in a chart, go ahead and figure out what it means. They're going to use AI to tell you what it means, give you like a little paragraph like, hey, this is what we're seeing. I don't know how good that's going to be. As you know, with all AI, it may give you some insights, or it may mislead you and waste your time. Another big one is where CRM Analytics uses the same sharing rules as your core Salesforce. So if you're taking Tableau and exposing it out to like a partner community, you build a sharing rule once. If you're going to put that Tableau Lightning component and expose it out to your partner community, you got to build all the same sharing rules in Tableau that you just built in Salesforce. And we all know how simple it is to build sharing rules, right? They're supposedly going to try to integrate that so you build it once and it works in both places. I would estimate that's a year or more out. Has anybody ever played with Tableau sharing rules? Has anybody played with Salesforce sharing rules?
Yeah.
Fun, huh? Like the one I've been wrestling with, like share if the ID equals this ID, you know, record ID. I changed it to starts with. Oh, that now works. Lightning Web Components to support third-party web components. So like Offia company has a web component, but it doesn't run in a Lightning component. We had to put it in Visualforce instead. I guess that's going to get solved here in the next year. App Exchange listing enhancements. They're going to introduce industry pages. So I can have the same listing, but with different pages targeted at different industries. Which if you're an App Exchange person, this is like,
yeah, that's cool.
It's really cool. And new pricing. So you know how your apps are either free or paid, and a lot of times they say free, but then you find out like, oh, if I actually want the features I need, I gotta buy something, or I gotta buy some external service. They're going to add those freemium and external service models, where you know the Salesforce app is free, but it doesn't work unless you buy something. So that's going to be supported because a lot of people are pretty frustrated with apps saying they're free, but they're not really free. And then the limitation is Salesforce just didn't give you a way of doing anything different. I think that's all I got. Yeah, that's it. Joanne, what I missed?
Not much. What I focused on there is I'm in the middle of a security and sharing project, and I was playing with sharing rules today, and they are not fun. But when I was there, I was focused on a lot of the tracks around permissions and, you know, security and best practices about that.
There's a big change coming into user permissions and profiles and all that. Profiles are basically going away.
Right.
Everything's going to be permission sets, and then you assign permission sets and other things to, but permission groups, I think they call them.
Yeah, we're already using those. You have permission set groups that you apply to users that have permission sets in them, depending on what their role or their business purpose is.
Right.
But I think they're keeping like 3 or 4 of the standard profiles that you assign, and then it's all permission set based.
Yeah.
But they really went into deep dive on some of the tracks I was in on how to use those permissions and best practices. And then I also attended my focus is flows. I'm new to flows, so that's why I stayed for the flow boot camp. But I follow Jen W. Lee, who's an awesome admin and you know knows everything about flow. And the key takeaway from the track I attended with her was she said with process builders, don't use the migration tool. She said it's better to rewrite them. And she had an example before she went to Salesforce. She worked in the financial industry. And when she was migrating all the flow or the process builders at that company, she ended up meeting with the different business units and figuring out what workflow rules and process builders they could just get rid of. And she found a lot of it. I mean, this is really good stuff. She meeting with the users, a lot of the automations that were created were from people that are no longer at the company and nobody knows why they're there. So it was just like, get rid of it, get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then it was a lot easier to start writing the flows. And her best piece of advice was from that experience is to have your flows grouped by business process. So like your finance team's business process, your customer success team's business process. Salesforce is no longer supporting having 1 or 2 flows per object. They just get out of hand. And we've got one now that a consultant did that I'm going to have to unwind. It's ugly. It's got like, I don't know, 16 to 18 decisions because of different case record types. And she's like, yeah, you need to put that in each of the different business process flows instead of, because when you have to change something in one of those flows, to her point, you have to regression test everything. And it's such a time suck.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you've got something that's in common across multiple business processes, make that one isolated.
Yeah. So I actually got my hands on that slide deck and I'm happy to share it with the group here.
That would be great, Joanne. This has been a very interesting path that they've been going. We've been kind of talking about that idea of which way they're going to go with flow, and it feels more and more that that's the logical direction to go, is to think of flow. It's a completely different way of thinking of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the right way. Like if you started with a blank sheet of paper and you were just going, I want to build automation, you'd go business process. Why would you not?
Yeah.
And so this whole, but I've only been in Salesforce, whatever, it's 6-7 years, but you get so tied to the object view of life that it's hard to put. I mean, back in the day in my previous IT world, I would have, you just wouldn't have even thought of that.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. That'd be great to see those slides.
Okay.
That's good news for consultants.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's never ending work.
Yeah.
Untangling 10 years worth of workflow and process building.
Yeah, I'm delighted because I mean, I was like the migration tool, even if it technically works, it's like that just doesn't seem like a very good idea.
The other opportunity is how many Apex triggers and Apex classes and test classes could be retired by building a quick flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing. And back to you, Emily.
Okay, thank you. So now actually I spoke with Laura, and her company Uncommon Purpose has been building some Salesforce tools. And so she was going to go through and kind of give us I don't know if it's a demo, Laura, or just an explanation of the different tools that your company is providing.
Quick overview of a couple of the tools, and then I'll give you a demo of the one that I'm working on, which I'm going to flip the order a little from here, but I can take it from here. So I'm now at a company called Uncommon Purpose, and Uncommon Purpose spun out of Traction on Demand, which was a Salesforce consulting company. We spun out, so Traction on Demand mostly did Salesforce consulting, but they also built products. So they find common problems amongst customers and build products out of them. So when the consulting side got acquired by Salesforce last May, Uncommon Purpose spun out with all the products. And so we're like an incubator where we've got products that are in early stage, and we want to get feedback on them, and we also have a lot of free goodies. So I thought I would share that. Yeah, let me share my screen here and get this set up. And then I'm excited to share the product I'm working on and see if you all want to try it for free. Hold on. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
You can see Hubble Diagnostics on here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So again, like I said, a lot of these products came out of the consulting gigs that Traction on Demand had. So could be useful for a lot of people. So this ties actually a lot into what you were just talking about, both on, tech debt and retiring tech debt. And also there's another product that ties into a process that's a process tool. So Hubble Diagnostic is a fast way to get a scan of your org and get recommended improvements. So it can show you, for example, like, here's all the workflows that you have by object. It can show you and identify things that are risky in your org and give you recommendations to fix them. I'm going to show you one other slide. So what's really cool also about Hubble Diagnostics, so they give you visual tools, but they also have scans of a number of orgs in the system so they can benchmark you against other orgs. So helps you identify tech debt, helps you identify possible problems that you might want to address. Also helps you de-risk, like if you're a consultant, it helps you de-risk because, there's what your customers tell you their org is, and then you get in there and you see stuff once you get there and you're like, oh, we didn't really know what you're in for. So that's how Hubble Diagnostics, they offer free scans. You can learn more at hubble.com, and I can share some of this in the channel. But yeah, it's a tool to help you find issues you might want to address. Questions about that one?
What's the pricing on this?
I'd have to get back to you on that, but I can introduce you to the people who know.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Peter, I know you had some early pricing conversation. They've adjusted the pricing since then. So, yeah, sorry, I don't know the answer to that, but I can introduce you to the people on these teams. So that's pretty cool. Another tool that's being worked on is Hubble Process Analytics. Again, a tool to help you understand processes and identify inefficiencies so that you can streamline them. So there's an app that you can go in and you can look for, like, maybe in your opportunity flow or in your why am I having trouble? In your Service Cloud org, they can help you sort of map out what the process is. They can identify where things are getting stuck and help you identify places that you can make improvements. This tool is pretty early on. You can also do a free scan. And for both of these tools, the teams are open to feedback and adapting per your feedback. So if anybody's just like interested in, like, wait, what might even be possible with process analytics in Salesforce, and they want to talk to the team who's doing that, they'd be more than happy to just spend time with you, understand your needs, and tell you what they're doing now and see how they can help you out. Again, there's a page where there's like a video with more detail. It shows you a little bit of a quick demo, and they've got some, you can install it for free. So they're looking for, so right now, they're looking for feedback, and you can install it for free. I could give you access to the team. So if you're interested, yeah, let me know. Questions about that? So these tools are kind of along the same lines, but interesting that you were saying, Joanne, that they're saying map it around process. This team thinks there's a lot of opportunity around processes, and so they're working to make that, to uncover ways to help you make your processes more efficient. Questions about that?
So does it like read through your flows, or how does it do this?
That's a good question. I should connect you to Gam, who's heading up the product, and I think you'd have a really interesting conversation with him about it. Sorry, I don't know the answers on all the other products. Today, I'm just giving you the high level on those. And the goal is, if you're interested, let me know and I'll connect you to the right people who know.
I have the time. I'm interested.
Okay, cool. Gam is great. And he's heading up this product. What's that?
Emphasis on time.
Time. Yeah. Well, you can let us know when you have the time. He'll make the time for you. And then there's the product I'm working on that I'm super excited about. It's called Notimo. And the problem we're solving with Notimo is, like, meetings can be great, right? Meetings are places where you learn about new stuff, you come up with new ideas, but they can also suck, and you can also repeat yourself in meetings a lot. And when you're in meetings, it's challenging sometimes, right? You might be taking notes, but taking notes is cumbersome and it reduces your active participation, and you're probably like juggling multiple screens. Also follow up and collaboration afterwards is difficult. So like there's a lot that you're doing in your meetings that could spur on conversation, but there's data on the forgetting curve that says I need to follow up to get it exactly right, but I think it's like after an hour you forget 50%, and after you forget 90% within like a week, I think. So a lot of stuff gets lost out of meetings, and also knowledge is siloed and lost over time. And if you're not in the meeting, you miss it. And not everybody's voice gets heard during meetings, because you might have a great idea and you might want to contribute. But if you're not the most vocal person and you sit there quiet, like voices don't come out. So we invented Notimo, and it stands for Notable Moments. And what Notimo is it's a virtual meeting app that works right in your video conferencing service. So we started with Zoom, but we plan to go Google Meet and Teams down the road. And then we also have a web app for after your meetings are over, so you can continue the conversation and discover insights on your own. And then we're working on integration. So the idea is that we help you quickly capture these notable moments during your meetings and then share them in the tools that you need them. So we've already built a Slack integration, and I could show you about that. We plan to build a Salesforce integration. We don't have one, maybe Jira down the road, and we've got a free early access program, but I can show you a quick demo of Notimo. This is the product that I'm working on. So you can see, I don't know if you all know that Zoom has like a Zoom app marketplace, and you can pull up apps. It's a relatively new marketplace, but so if you look at apps, you can see my Zoom screen now, right?
Mhm.
If you look up apps at the bottom, you can pull up apps and you can search for Notimo. It's free. You can install it. So Notimo sits right here along your meeting. And as your meeting goes along, if you want to note a point that you might want to come back to, or maybe you want to loop somebody else in, like I've been taking Notimos throughout this meeting, right? Because I'm like, oh, someday when I'm thinking about flow, I might want to go back to that thing that Mark talked about from like a month ago, but I don't remember what it was about. So if you're recording your meetings and you can capture a quick micro note, what happens is it's just this easy. So maybe you have an idea and you just want to mark it and you don't want to write anything. But what's more useful is if you add a little context. So you add, like maybe as Mark was talking, I had an idea about something I can do. I can add my idea here. I can also mention people or tag them in. So I took a note about your slide deck, right? And identifying red flags, but let's say there's somebody on my team who missed this meeting and I want them to hear what you said, Joanne, because it's like one thing to take the notes. I might miss stuff. It comes to life in a different way. I can mention him and bring him in. I can also add hashtags like hashtag flow, so you can see and aggregate moments across multiple meetings. So one of the things we do is like when we're in our customer meetings, I hashtag like feature requests. And then when I'm getting ready to build my roadmap and I want to go back, I can see them all in one place. But then if I didn't remember exactly what the customer said and I want to go back to it later, I can go back to it later. Let me flip over really quickly and get out of here and show you the after meeting experience. Oops. So after the meeting is over, you get to this page for the meeting where you can see the recording. We just pull this in from Zoom. We're not recording it ourselves like some of the other apps do. And if you have the Zoom business plan, we can pull in the transcripts as well. So I'm going to mute this. You can see you've got the Notimos here. So this is not the meeting we're in, but a different meeting is an example. So let's say I just want to see what all the questions are. I can see what the questions are. If I miss the meeting and Sam loops me in with a particular question, I can just go click on the Notimo. I can watch the moment to get a little bit more context. I can then reply to him to continue the conversation. And like I said before, because we have hashtags across meetings, like let's say I want to see all decisions on a certain topic, I can go in and find those moments and go watch what I need to. But if your organization is transparent and you're tracking all your meetings too, it's a new place that people can also discover knowledge, right? We have one customer who's like, I just need to get my people up to speed quickly and unpack stuff from my head. And by doing it this way, they can go get, 80% of what they need to know without me and follow up with me on the stuff that they need to follow up with. We just also launched a Slack app. So what the Slack app does is when people are mentioned, I'm going to pull up my Notimo app here. When you get app mentioned after the meeting's over, you'll get a summary of the meeting with all of your app mentions. That's where we're starting, but we have a lot of other ideas for what we can do in Slack because we know everybody's not yet. Notimo is not like all over the place. So everybody's not going to be looking in Notimo, but I can just quickly app mention, like, so here I put a number of action items for myself, but my team members can also loop me in on things they want my opinion in. And if I wasn't there, I can just go look and I can reply and continue the conversation. So no matter whether the conversation started async or started sync, this is a way to kind of connect the dots. And that's it about Notimo. Any questions?
Google Meet
Yeah.
support.
Not yet, but it's on our roadmap. So if you're interested when Google Meet comes out, let me know. And you might have the question, like a lot of people are like, there's a lot of stuff that's working with AI on getting meeting summaries. This is not just about meeting summaries. Like the AI can get part of it, but this is about the context that's in your head. And it's really about collaboration first to continue the conversation and make it easy to continue the conversation. So another way my team's using it, I'm on a customer call, they identify a bug. I put hashtag bug. For now, I copy it into a Jira ticket, so I don't have to write down everything. Like when the development team gets to it, when we prioritize it, they can have the context they need, and I'm not going to misstate things. They can hear it for themselves. Eventually, we'll have a Jira integration where you can pull from Notimo to Jira, Jira to Notimo. So again, connecting the dots. It's all about connecting the dots and helping you collaborate quickly and take the gems that are in your meetings and make them usable and not lost. Yeah.
Laura, when you were doing that, the post-meeting experience and you had all of the comments and then you were
Yes.
able to go click on a comment and go to that point in the video,
Yes.
is that happening automatically whenever you make a comment, or do you have to do you have to attach the two when you're making the comment?
So the idea is if you're making the comment in the meeting, when I make it here in the meeting, it adds the timestamp so that I can revisit it after. You can also, if you weren't in the meeting, you can watch the video and add Notimos. But are you asking?
So I'm
not
just,
sure if you're
I mean, we
Yeah.
do we record, pretty much every customer engagement, whether it be
Yeah.
sales or training or whatever it is, but certainly kind of discovery, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
If we were making notes, if the consultant's making notes and just as they're making notes, that's time stamping.
Correct.
So when they go back
Correct.
to look at the notes, they can just click on that and
Yep.
actually hear the conversation at that point in time.
Yep.
This thing, I agree, Peter.
That is massive.
I mean, right now, even just like they can go to one place and the Zoom links are all there without you having to get it and share it out and not know where you found it. But then
So-
getting to the right moment. And
Well-
right now, I forgot to mention this. So this stream over here is collaborative feed. So right now, if you and your team are on the call together, you can see other people's Notimos. We are working on sharing externally too, so that let's say you're in the customer meeting and you want to share it with them, or you want them to have the ability to make Notimos during the meeting. Maybe they have a question and they don't want to interrupt you. They can just make it in there and then you can reply after. Instead of giving them the Zoom link, you give them the Notimo link, and now you have a collaborative conversation that continues from what you started during your
You
meeting.
don't
Yeah.
have to go through an hour-long meeting to find the.
You don't have to go through an hour-long meeting to find the 2 minutes you care about.
And
And
how
if I
long-
app mention you, you're just gonna get, like, if you have the Slack app too, you just get pinged. You watch those 2 minutes, you reply, you're done. Yeah.
How long do you keep this? How long is it available for?
The recordings.
Everything. Is it
So
like,
we pull right now so right now this is free. It's an early access program and it's free for now. We are going to figure out where our paywall sits. And when we have a paywall, probably you'll need to pay for, we don't know where it is yet, but it could be something like Slack where after a certain amount you have to pay
Yeah.
for it. But right now it's free. As far as Zoom goes, we pull in the Zoom recordings and transcripts. So it's as much storage as you have for Zoom cloud recording at this point. We are thinking about maybe also down the road being able to pull in videos from other places. So we might have a solution to store it, but right now it would just be like if you're recording your meetings already and you already have the Zoom space, it's just however long you keep them in Zoom. Yeah.
right, that makes sense. And then I guess your same answer on Google Meet for Teams, right? It's on the roadmap, but you don't know when.
On the roadmap, but I don't know when. So if anybody's interested and has Zoom now and you want to play, it's free. Like, this is my product. I own the product. Like, happy to hear feedback and talk to you more. Also happy to set you up for free. It's in the Zoom app marketplace. You could just install it for free. However, right now we only have login with Google. If you want Teams and you're using Zoom, we could enable that for you. But if any of you are interested and want to try it out, you could try it for free. Go ahead and try it for free. Or if you want to hop on a call with me, I would love to like watch how you install it and what questions you have so I can learn from you if you got time. But yeah, that's my product.
Then I have a question. If you delete the Zoom video, does it delete everything or just the video?
Just the video.
Okay, you still have the transcript and all the notes that you took.
The transcript comes from Zoom too, which comes with the video. So the transcript would be gone, but you would have the Notimos that you took. Yeah. And
There's no
Notimos
way to like save the Zoom video to like your own somewhere else and keep it.
not right now, but I like what you're thinking and maybe something we should consider. Yeah.
Because sometimes, I mean, because I'm not sure. I've had 2 Zoom accounts. My personal one where I could only have 3 videos basically stored. And then my work one, I've never hit a limit. So I don't know what the limit is, but I feel like there will be one someday.
Yeah, if you're at a medium-sized or larger company, they probably, and you record all your customer meetings, you probably have a lot of storage on Zoom and it's not going to be a problem. Smaller companies, we know this is going to be a problem for, so we're going to figure that out. But yeah, appreciate all the feedback and comments. Would love to get you all set up if you're interested. This is my baby and super excited about it.
Yeah, I'd love to next week meet with you and like, you know, set this up in my Zoom.
Awesome.
I've already just started. So you need a Google workspace though.
Right now you do, but if you use Zoom, but you use Teams.
Well, we use Teams as our default, but we have clients that you want to use Zoom. So we have Zoom as well. So
would you want to play with it with Zoom, but also log in with Microsoft?
yeah.
I could enable that really easily because we
Okay.
add on 0. I just haven't. So I've been waiting for somebody who's like, I want that. So Peter, if you want to try it, I would get my team to add that and we could get that set up pretty quickly.
I think our lead consultants would be really into this.
All right.
I don't want to speak on behalf of them because they always get pissed off when I start trying to throw tools at them. So, but on the face of it, this appears like it's just, I mean, we can use Zoom and it just feels like it's just added value.
Nice. I have a little video you could show to them if you want. I'm happy to take a call. Like, I'll ping you on Slack. So
yeah, could you do that? That would be great.
Thank you for all the feedback. One last thing about Up Uncommon Purpose, and then I'm done, is speaking of Slack apps. So we have an internal team that builds Slack apps. They are curious to learn if anybody has a need for Slack apps or wants to build one. They built our Notimo Slack app for us. So it's a separate team from ours, but luckily we had access to them and they were able to build our Slack app. So if anybody's interested in Slack apps or has time and the interest and just wants to talk to a team who's interested in understanding people's needs around Slack apps, hit me up and I'll introduce you to that team. Thanks for the time.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. And yeah, I mean, I have tons of Google accounts, but my work Zoom is linked to a Microsoft account.
Would you use it on your work account or would you play with it on your Embo stuff first?
Oh, I haven't used my personal computer in forever. I was thinking of using it for work, like just starting taking notes for work.
So you use Zoom and you log in with Microsoft and you would
I log in with SSO for my Microsoft.
So you would, like, if we had a login with Microsoft, you would use that.
Yeah.
Okay. I
could just use my personal computer and log in with Google. But then I wouldn't.
Yeah, we need to add it anyway. So now I have a reason to have my devs accelerate that. Like I said, we use a tool called Auth0, so it's pretty easy. We'll just need to test it, but I could get that set up probably in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome.
Sorry, excuse me. So the last thing we were going to do was review some of the highlights of the the new release, there's a lot of stuff. So I went and I got the release in a box slide deck, and it's huge. So I went and I just took out the parts about sales platform and platform automation that I thought this group might be interested in. But at the end of this slide deck is a link. There's to all of the demo videos and all the release notes. So I'll share this deck. Actually, I think I shared it because I was worried about losing internet. I think I've already shared it. Yeah, so there's been a lot of updates, and I've done a slide for each of these, so I'll go down to the next one. So there's forecasting enhancements. I don't know, does anyone here use forecasting? So I have in the past, I haven't used it in a long time, but now you're going to be able to drag and drop reports and dashboards on the forecasting page. So if you use forecasting, it's probably going to be pretty helpful. Now they have account discovery, and it provides a dashboard with Einstein discovery models to help you see which of your accounts have potential for upside growth and which need attention. But this is only available for performance and unlimited editions with pipeline inspection. So I've actually never worked with a company that had like those expensive licenses. Does anyone here work? Yeah, Joanna, do you think your company is going to use this?
We're on unlimited, but I don't know if we're using like pipeline inspection.
Okay, yeah, I think it comes with performance, and if you have unlimited, you also have to have pipeline inspection.
Isn't that an add-on though, the pipeline inspection part?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think we have that.
An add-on.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, it seems like it would be a cool tool if it was an enterprise and it just came with it. I would be testing it out. But oops, well, you just touch your thing and it moves. But yeah, so this is another new functionality, but only at a cost. Automated actions is, let's see. I put this together a while ago and then I got sick for the whole last week, so I apologize. I haven't gone back to it. So it seems like they're gonna let users create their own kind of little flows. So it's the user can set up like, so you know how we go in and build a flow that says, okay, create a task every time, you know, a lead is created with the lead source equals this. It sounds like they're going to allow users to set that up themselves. If you turn, I mean, it'll need to be turned on, but here, oh, I think I need to put it in preview mode to show this. So it's going to let people build their own processes so that they can manage their own targets. And I went in, I couldn't, so it looks like an automated action setup turn. I wasn't able to actually, I like look into it, and I was just in a dev org of mine, and I wasn't, the ability to turn this on wasn't there. So I'm not sure if it's because it hadn't been released yet.
Yeah.
But it says it's going to be available in enterprise.
I saw this at DX. They were showing this somewhere.
Yeah, and so it looks like it's just once you turn it on, like users can go set up their own like automation, like little flows, right?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Like, hey, when this happens, send my favorite email.
Yeah, and so then
admins to build all the stuff.
So the admins don't have to build everything, and I think it'll take a certain amount of skill on the salesperson's. I feel like I work with lots of people who have very low opinions of their salespeople. Like they're like, no, they just need to be able to sell. They can't do anything else. So I don't know, like,
Depends on the salesperson.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask is how do they control to make sure they don't, how do they,
so
I guess if you don't have permission to do something, you won't be able to create a flow around it, but I'm really curious about that.
yes. Well, so first the user has to be given the permission to create automated action.
Got it.
And then they can create up to 50. And you can basically assign the action to themselves or another person with that permission set. So yes, I guess technically somebody could build some stuff and start sending tasks to other people. So there could be some issues with this. Like I'm gonna
Oh,
set up and
Can you
create a task.
imagine, can you
every
imagine
day.
5 years of this? I suspect what will happen is in the larger organizations, right, where you've got a sales organization structure with support, you're probably going to find a power user that would
Yeah.
take this on, I imagine.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because the idea of 22 salespeople all coming up with their own rules and building this, God help us.
It sounds crazy to manage. Yeah. And then like what happens when they turn off a feature or something and now you have all this tech debt and you don't even know who created what? Like it sounds cool, but I could also see it get running amok. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be a good tool for letting the power user pilot like some new business process. And
That's true.
monthly meeting, they're like, hey, I've been doing this. It saved me a ton of time. Maybe we should institutionalize this. And then sales operations and admins get together and put it into a proper flow.
And it looks like they only allow 5 actions at this point. So assign inbound lead to Cadence, remove opt-out lead from Cadence, remove opt-out contact from Cadence, assign lost opportunity primary contact to Cadence, and remove replied buyer from Cadence.
So it's not actually sending them an email. That's not been reviewed and approved by.
Yeah.
No, but I like your idea, Mark. That would be cool if they could use this as a starting point and then you could convert it into a flow and like add on top of it and add complexity. Yeah, pretty cool.
Institutionalize it. What exactly is the cadence?
I don't know. I was going to ask the same thing.
Oh,
So the
good.
cadence
I thought I was
is-
asking a dumb question.
No, I thought I should know that too, but
I
since
think
you
it's a new thing that has to do with this. So you have a action and then
On the left side, it says let reps create their own outreach templates with quick cadences. That sounds like saying an email. Oh,
So- a quick cadence says to
oh, this is like, hey,
tasks.
I got a prospect that's on drip and I want to follow up with them periodically. And I don't have to remember.
right.
I want to automate it.
So it's like an automated
cadence
task
is like a
creation.
sales engagement plan.
Yeah.
So where does this stop in Pardot and Marketing Clouds?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it does seem like something that Pardot would do for you.
Maybe if you don't have Pardot.
Yeah. Well, and if this is available for enterprise,
Maybe they're going to tease you with this and get you excited and then upsell you to Pardot.
Yeah, right. So Pardot is centralized and controlled. This is, free for all. Hey, it's working really well. And the next year, like, oh my God, it's just a bowl of spaghetti and it's complete chaos. We need
Now
Pardot.
you need Pardot.
Where's
Yeah.
your?
So if anyone tries this out, let us know how you like it.
It sounds like you have to ask to be put in the beta right now or something.
I definitely went in and I think it's not available in developer orgs at least, which is where I was trying to turn it on. So then does anybody use territories in this group? So they're making changes to territories, so that there's like an approval process now so that you can quickly change territories. I haven't really used territories, so I don't know how good of a fix this is for that. And then this I like. So they keep releasing more and more dynamic forms. You now have dynamic forms on leads and cases, which is awesome. So I remember, I feel like I remember, was it 2018, back when so many people would request like, well, why can't I just, only show this field on the opportunity if, it's a certain profile or, and I was like, well, because Salesforce doesn't let you do that. And I remember at a Dreamforce a long time ago, and someone like, I wanted a stuffed animal. So I was at like one of those little booths to get a checkbox. And it was the dynamic forms booth. And they're like, oh yeah, this is coming out, where you can now basically hide or show anything on your page layout based on other information from the record. But it started just with custom objects, and now we have it for leads and cases.
I think I was there with you at that Dreamforce, Emily, and I remember how excited you were about it.
It is the greatest thing.
It's pretty great.
It's all coming to fruition.
When you go to Dreamforce and you're like, yada, 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 and then you find that one thing. Like I remember when Process Builder got announced at Dreamforce in the dead of some session, I was like, this is my jam,
Dynamic forms still not available on Experience Cloud, unfortunately.
Oh,
don't get me started.
Yeah, because that would be awesome. Give you a lot more power.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, I mean, let's say should we do a bet? Like I say 2 years, I say spring 25.
Well, what year did you say they introduced this, and how long did it take to get
feel
to
like it was Dreamforce 2018.
Yeah, why can't I just use the Lightning app builder for
Or maybe the new Einstein stuff will just kind of like figure it all out and read your mind and make it happen for you.
Yeah.
That'll be the end of consultants again. Let's not have that.
Nah, there's never going to be the end of consultants.
So now there's enhanced meeting scheduling. Oh, so I haven't really used Inbox that much. I've had clients who used it, and I did think it was kind of annoying where you could just enter a couple of options. Now, if you have Inbox, you can actually provide a scheduling link, like you should, like, so people can look up all your availability and sign up. You don't have to add Inbox. You used to be like, okay, I'm going to give you 5 choices. Well, 5 choices might not work. So now apparently you can like share with them your whole scheduling link.
but you
Oh,
have
so
to
it's
buy
more like
in-
Calendly.
Yeah, more like Calendly.
but you have to buy Inbox, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
all still
this is
paid,
for Inbox, or if you have high velocity sales or Sales Cloud Einstein, you can use it as well.
Well, there's the god awful thing called Einstein Activity Capture.
Oh my God, don't.
Oh, we did.
Oh, I've turned that on for some people.
Well, Althea didn't want to pay for anything, so like, hey, you chose the free one.
Yeah, that has
And
a lot of information you can't report on.
Everything.
I mean, it does have a couple of things where you can exclude certain types of emails from certain domains. Or
The automation is cool, but
Yeah, the problem is you can't do anything with it in Salesforce, so because the data's not there.
right, yeah.
So you can't do last email dates or any of that sort of stuff, and they haven't built that into the product. So
do you guys, by the way, do you guys recommend Inbox as an alternative or Cirrus or?
I mean, I have clients who use it. I personally like it when people have Calendly and I just go there and sign up for stuff like.
Yeah, but that doesn't work so well with your Salesforce email.
Yeah.
I've never found a all-in-one solution for for all this stuff. Cirrus, I think it's Cirrus,
Cirrus Insight, yeah.
yeah, they pitch themselves as being, the nirvana of all this. They're expensive.
Oh, I was gonna say what's missing. So nothing's missing. They're just expensive.
But yeah, I've never used it, so
Hmm.
I've just struggled with, oh, hey, we want to integrate email and Salesforce.
I know, Mark. I mean, it just feels
Well-
like it should be, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I found the easiest is just using the plugin, and then you just record the emails that are important to Salesforce. Like in the side.
That's how we
sidebar.
go with all of our customers, end up with just the plugin.
Yeah,
Which
Uh,
plugin is that?
Just the standard free Outlook, whatever you're using, Outlook or
Outlook or
Gmail
Gmail
plugin.
plugin that shows up on the right-hand side where you decide
But
which,
you have to
emails
do
to
it all
send.
manually, although it has a little bit of intelligence in it. But
It's a Chrome extension.
it's the Chrome extension for Chrome, and then here I have it.
or it's it's actually for
don't
the
actually
client
have
plug.
Salesforce.
It's yeah,
Or-
or for Outlook, you
Or
get
for
the plugin
Outlook,
for the
it's an
client.
And
Uh,
it puts the emails into the right place in Salesforce. It doesn't like leave them in a unassigned bucket or whatever.
Well, no, it's all manual, so it's not going to do it automatically. So
Yeah, well, I 3 years ago when we implemented our Salesforce, I drank the Einstein activity capture Kool-Aid and I'm kind of stuck with it.
yeah, I mean,
Well, and then everything gets deleted if you turn it off, right?
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yeah,
I figured we'd be using it for about 6 months and then we'd be like, hey, we need a better solution.
yeah. I mean, I like the sidebar because it finds the records that it could possibly be related to. And if you're reading an email anyways, and you decide you want it in Salesforce, you click a button and then it's on the correct record. It doesn't take very much work.
I think I did read something like if you're going to go off Einstein activity capture, there's like you can go to AWS somehow and get.
or you'll be able to get your data. You must be able to, right? I mean, if it's on AWS, the problem is that, as I said, the biggest problem I've had is that a lot of our customers want to just do something that's somewhat intelligent about last time we contacted someone, last time we got emailed, and yeah, no,
Yeah,
can't do that.
Yeah, the automation is cool. It just doesn't. Stop.
Williams' old company, one of my clients, they use oh my god, one of the I can't think what it's called. I always forget what it's called. Mail Made Easy, or no, one of those. I'm going to look at it now.
How many different iterations has Salesforce gone through in trying to solve email and Salesforce?
That's true.
Match My Email is what one of my clients use, and that does a really good job of the automation, but it's paid, of course. That does a good job, and then that stores it all in a custom email object that you can access and do whatever you want with.
oh, nice.
Good tip, thank you.
So and I don't think it's not crazy expensive. I mean, but it all adds up. It's a per user number, right? So
Yeah,
but you define the rules that you want for the different, you can put in all sorts of rules, only for these types of accounts or whatever. So you can do all that stuff. Ask William about it sometime. He configured it all for them before he left.
if I was using Notimo, I could
Exactly.
ask William and tag
Yeah,
him.
there you could.
So some
That
cool,
Notimo thing is awesome, Laura. Can we buy shares in that as early adopters?
No, not right now, but hopefully we get a bunch of users and we spin out, and I'll let you know about our journey.
Yeah. Well, too late is no use. I'm asking now.
Let me think about that.
So some things for the platform. Apparently now we're going to be able to quickly create partial and full sandboxes. So maybe you won't be sitting there clicking refresh for an hour to see if it's
Just
been
come back the
built.
next day.
What?
Just come back the next day.
Well, I know. But sometimes I don't think about refreshing it until I want it right then. Dynamic related lists. So you can create related lists and then give them a descriptive title. So I've already done this for a client on subscriptions. He wanted on the account a related list of active subscriptions because they have tons and tons of subscriptions. And so we filtered on active, and now he can go to each account and he can go to a tab and see the single related list of just active subscriptions.
And if you wanted to do like multiple views, you could do like 2
You
opportunities.
just do, I could like then do another single related list of like
Yeah.
inactive subscriptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, that's right. You've now got the view all, right?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
it'll take you to all of them.
Yeah, you could
because
probably put them
before
in
it was
tabs or
maxed out
something.
at
That'd
30.
be
You couldn't have any more than 30.
Yeah. So I just used that on my last project and they were very pleased.
Yeah, this is all part of the same stuff, really. The whole same dynamic stuff, right? It's good.
And then I don't actually have, this is where I stopped. So there are some enhancements with Flow. But the link to the release notes and the demos are here. And yeah, there apparently if you need to, I have not tried this because I no longer work with any of my old clients that I built tons of process builders for, but actually Donnie may have, Donnie's taking over some of my work for like Tahoe Fund and Tamba.
Oh, nice.
And so he may get to use the process builder migrate to Flow because I've definitely built some process builders that need to be migrated for old clients. And has anybody used this yet?
The migrate, no.
Yeah.
No.
My issue is I feel like the process builders I built 5 years ago should probably be combined into one flow. I think this probably just does one-to-one.
That's exactly the point.
That's what Joanne was saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great opportunity to go revisit stuff.
Yeah.
More work for Donnie.
Did you, on the flow builder enhancements, do you have any that we don't have any? You didn't get a chance to look at that at all, Emily?
I have at least linked to the release.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll have a look. Anyone that's interested in, I did implement a flow orchestration for a client. I don't know if anyone's done that.
Oh no, I haven't.
Maybe we'll put that on the list, Emily. I could give a quick demo of that. It's a little lead management system in Orchestrator.
Okay, maybe when we meet up in Incline Village in May, and hopefully there won't be snowstorms, we could do that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, in principle, it's cool stuff. It's still kind of a little frustrating in how it implements itself, but I can just if we can remember, I could do that next time.
Okay, yeah, I'll remember. And next time when we meet up, I have a whole box of swag. I think I have a lot of water bottles and some t-shirts and stuff, which obviously I couldn't give out today, but I'll bring all of that to our next in-person meeting. And we'll have it at Fandango. We still have that location. So we'll just try and put something together in May, probably.
Nice. I can't remember who was our person from Fandango. I don't think they show up to meetings much anymore.
Oh, Lucia? No, she doesn't come to the meetings very often, but I think she'll probably be there if we have it at her work.
That's good.
Yeah, and then we're always looking for free spaces to host meetups. So if anybody knows of any, we don't need one for the next one. We'll do it at Fandango, but and then after Fandango, we'll go back to Reno. So if anyone has ideas for spaces in Reno, please let me know. And I think that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Emily, for organizing that.
Hope
From
you
your
feel better
useless co-leader.
Now you always, okay, this is like the first time I've done a release, so you put in a lot of work.
I'll try and do better next time. Mark, I haven't heard from that crew, by the way. And I'm just an FYI, I mean, I'm now running into, it'll be running into May now. So,
Yeah, well, they obviously, more nonprofit, they don't move that fast.
no, which is fine. I just wanted to let you know. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. All I did was let's have a call. And that was,
The last email I got from her, and I said, hey, just to confirm, you're gonna be reaching out to Pete. Yes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
okay, guys. Good to
Well, it
see
was-
you all.
it was
Laura,
great
will
to
you,
see you all.
will you
What's that?
ping me or something on the product stuff, okay?
I'll hit you on Slack, and if it's okay, I'll post some of this stuff in general too. So if
Yeah.
other people are interested, I'll
Yeah.
post my new little 1 minute, 2 minute video. It's in
Do you
case
have a Calendly link or anything like that?
I do. I'll post it in Slack.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Okay, everyone. Good to see you all.
See you
Thank
guys.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
Nice to see you.